Welcome to Bloody Flicks. I'm your host, Pete.
I'm Kyle, and this is the Stay Bloody podcast.
And today we're going to discuss basic stuff that's been going around and remakes versus
originals.
Yep, and we're going to get in a hot debate because there's a few that we disagree on. Wouldn't you say? Coil.
Yeah.
I want to say it like Hellraiser.
The one we're going to really debate, I'm going to save for last because I want Pete to bring his A game on this one.
Oh man, I'm tired. It's been a long week at work, so because we're getting our butt kicked to work right now, like hours. I mean, we're not even had to make any reviews or green screen in anything, or it's like I don't have time for this stuff.
All I think about is the money for conventions and buying a new car, so I guess I'm okay with it for now.
Yeah, we're on a convention streak, so we're getting closer to Motor City Nightmares.
Yep.
Why is everyone in Detroit called Motor City? Except for Astronomicon.
Yeah, because there was Motor City Legacy, Motor City Nightmares, and then I think there was
There's another Motor City where they brought Freddie Prinze Jr. and some others.
Yeah.
More like regular TV stars. And then there was Astronomicon, which is totally different.
Well, that's just like in Pennsylvania, everything is called SteelCon.
Yeah, and SteelCon's coming up too, which I do want to go to.
I guess they have SteelCon like 3 times a year, I guess.
I'm going to go to the big one that they had Chevy Chase at. That would have been cool. I'd fly it for that one. I'm still being called nuts for wanting to fly to Vegas for Days of the Dead in February for the Hellraiser people. So, I don't know. I know I got the crazy look from you, but
hey, if that's what you want to do, go ahead.
So Motor City Nightmares, yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be a good time. And then right after that is the next weekend.
It was Flashback weekend.
That's gonna be huge.
If you're a Nightmare on Elm Street fan.
Hey, you know what? You met Robert Englund. I have not, so I'm geared up.
Yeah.
Well, Catherine Mary Stewart. Okay, the guys from Revenge of the Nerds. The cast of 4, which I got ready to go. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna probably spend a shit ton of money there. I bet I'd probably spend $1,200 easy.
Yeah, I got Robert Englund's autograph when it was only $75. Now it's about $120.
I offered, then I said, Kyle, I'm gonna get Robert Englund's picture. Would you like to get in on this? I already got his autograph. You get 2 adults. You can still jump in the picture with me.
But you only get one picture.
No, you can pay extra for another picture.
Well,
and I paid for the digital download too, so
I don't want to stand in line for more than I have to because I have a feeling this is going to be like Cincinnati, and I'm not gonna.
Okay, Cincinnati was cool because we got a shit ton of autographs, but man, the lines were terrible. Wow.
Yeah, it was way oversold.
I wonder what this time is because they're announcing who did they announce? Oh well, Bill Campbell's obviously gonna have a long line. I mean, but yeah, Anthony Michael Hall's gonna be there, so that's my vacation week. So I'm the wife wants to fly for vacation. I want to drive so I can time it to where I can hit Cincinnati on the way back from vacation and get Anthony Michael Hall's autograph from my rusty wall. I don't really care that he was in Halloween, but I want it from vacation.
Yeah,
National Lampoon's Vacation. But then Weird Science because I have Julie. So and I have Sid. I have whose autograph did I get? Oh, I got her from Killer Clowns. I didn't get.
Oh yeah.
So I had to take the picture of the 2 girls and have it be signed by the other one because I only got one. But then that makes me want all the Weird Science people. See, that's the trap I fall into. I get one, and I can't decide. So Anthony Michael Hall, I'll probably have to get him for Halloween, and I'll have to get it for Rusty, like I did for Jason Lively. I got it for Night of the Creeps, and I got him for, I don't know. That's just, I probably should just get him and then walk away.
Hey, it's only money.
I thought about doing the photo shoot or photo op with Bruce Campbell, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, after you told me how it was with Bruce Campbell, I don't even know if I even want to meet him. I know it might have been because they were busy, but
yeah, I mean, they got a half wink, I think. It was kind of like, hey, you know,
hey, thanks for giving me your money.
I don't know. Like, I'm not excited, but until I get there, and then I'll be like a little kid. Who can I have your autograph? Can I have your autograph? So anyway, what have you done this weekend besides work yesterday for a couple hours?
Well, I watched the Resident Evil show, or I should say, not Resident Evil show.
How did that go? I watched like a minute or two that they showed, and I was like, oh boy, I'll wait to hear from you before.
Well, I mean, if you took out like the things that they've put in there from Resident Evil, it's just a basic generic like zombie teenage drama, family drama show. I mean, it's okay. If you're not a big fan of, if you've never really played the games and you've never watched the previous movies and you just watch this, you'd probably like it. But if you're a Resident Evil fan, you're gonna hate it.
Well, yeah, because you said they took it so the zeros. They're not zombies. They're
They're
zeros.
not zombies. They're
It's
not
not a T-virus.
They're not dead. Well, the T-virus, they treat it like it's an antidepressant, and it's just weird. And then there's this one dance like sequence towards the like last two episodes, and my wife watched this with me, and I looked at her and I'm like, is this Resident Evil the musical now or what? It was.
I'm gonna eat your face right now.
Yeah, basically it was like that. And then if you've seen, if you played the games, you know that Wesker's a clone, and they show a bunch of his clones, and they showed the real Wesker. He looked like Blade.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He was all decked out in leather, and he had a flat top, and yeah, he basically looked like Blade.
Yeah, I wasn't tempted to watch it at all. So if you're gonna remake it or try to do it, that's the problem. That's why we're doing this episode, remakes versus originals, because it's really hard to stay the same without being exactly the same and boring. Been there, done that, or make it so weird and that they just could have made their own version and called it something else.
Well, and then like it's made by the same production company that made all the other movies, so you would have thought that they would already known what was previous. And there is like stuff from the games that are canon to this story because they throw little tidbits. But like I said, unless you've played the games and know the story of Resident Evil, it's just gonna kind of go over your head. And it's like, okay, you made the movies, why can't you? Your canon is like way off. It's like, did they not watch the previous movies?
We're gonna call them zeros. Call the series 0 Hour or Zero, and then because you got 0 hours to get your shit together because you're gonna die or something.
Yeah, they weren't dead, and then like when and how they detected you was if you cut yourself, they'd smell your blood, and then they would come at you. So you could, as long as you weren't bleeding, you could walk right on by them, and they wouldn't even attack you. The first episode, then the next episode, the girl stand there, and then she didn't bleed or nothing, and then they started attacking her.
Was she on a period?
I don't know.
It was that time of the month?
It was way...
Because it'd be all dudes within like 6 months, and...
it was weird.
Kind of weird theory.
Yeah, it was all over the place. They'd attack you, then they wouldn't attack you, and one would attack the person, and the rest of the horde would like stand back and watch, and then finally they would attack. It was all over the place. I'd just skip it.
Yeah, so not really worth watching.
And from my understanding, it's got like the worst ratings on Netflix, so it probably won't even get a second season.
I think they're just throwing shit at the wall right
Yeah.
now. Literally just wiping their butt and throwing it at the wall like a monkey, like feces, just. Well, I finally broke down to watch the Terrifier. You and I, having a horror channel, have not watched this movie. And we kind of get shit for it sometimes, kind of little, you haven't watched that yet? Well, no, I haven't watched it yet because it just doesn't interest me. Now, we've seen Art the Clown.
At many conventions.
The director at many conventions.
Fact,
Howard Thornton.
They're both coming to our local one, too.
So I think I've seen them both 3 times this year already. I have not got the autograph because I've not seen the movie. They were at Astronomicon, and I was going to get their autograph just to have it because I knew I'd watch the movie eventually. And they were gone for like an hour, so I said, forget it, and had to head back. So yesterday I decided to watch it. And I posted it on social media, on our Bloody Flicks on Instagram, and you haven't seen it yet, you got to watch it. And I'm like, okay. Art the Clown actually said, hey, enjoy. So... I don't know. So I texted you, and I'm like, we need to review this movie because you're a gore hound. You knew what the big kill was, and you actually ended up watching it too, huh?
Yeah, after watching Resident Evil, I was like, well, let's watch this. And actually, after watching this too, yesterday wasn't really a good day for horror stuff, in my opinion, but to each his own.
Yeah, we'll do an actual full review on this, but it was the way the girls were talking and stuff was kind of like a, beginner movie. I wouldn't say low budget. It didn't look like terrible low budget. You could watch it. It was clear. Art the Clown comes out of nowhere, has his eye on the dark hair girl, and they go to a pizza place. And I did like his stare. I like Art the Clown. I like how he played the clown, the stare, the grin. I was cool with that. I didn't think I would like the clown setup at all, but I did. But you didn't like some of the effects and cutting off the heads and stuff, and
supposedly it was supposed to be Halloween. I didn't even get a feel that it was Halloween till the guy on the radio was saying, "Oh, Halloween." Okay, you could have fooled me. It just looked like they were dressed up going to a club party or something.
I didn't even hear that on the radio.
Yeah, see,
I started playing on my phone about halfway through, and then I had
me too.
Yeah, and my nose running. I don't know. I just the only problem I have is the kill, the famous kill, Miss Naked Upside Down Girl, give you a little boobage, which is kind of nice. Even though she's upside down, and he kills her with the saw. Saws her from her JJ down to her head, splits her completely in half with a saw that would never ever do that. I know it's make believe because they're not going to be. Well, I mean, it could be serial killer clown, but I looked at that saw and I had the exact same type of saw and tried to cut wood with it. It's very hard to cut with a saw, that type of saw, and you're not going to go through pelvis and matter, human matter like that. I think they should have stopped and you should got frustrated because the saw got stuck in it for JJ. And then he could have been like, and freak out, go get a big saw, and then it would have more effect. But that issue, we all have the gun issue. I heard about the gun issue where he uses a gun. That did not bother me when he shot the girl because he just got pissed off and got tired of, wanted to end it. But when he shot himself, that was a little different. I was like, whoa, why?
Yeah. To me, that's like the chicken shit way to go. But hey, that's how they wanted to do it. Okay.
Well, what'd you think? It kept my interest. I mean, it did. I mean, I started playing my phone, and then I brought my interest back in.
I couldn't even tell it was Halloween. Like they were, the two girls were kind of dressed up, but they could have just been going to a nightclub for all I know. Because the dark-haired girl looked kind of like she could be a goth, and like I said, I didn't realize it was Halloween till the guy on the radio said something about Halloween party.
I thought they're just going out to a club or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Halloween.
And then I wouldn't call this movie overrated. I don't see why everyone's all hyped in the appeal of this movie. It was just a basic, generic slasher movie.
I wouldn't call it generic. I thought it was decent. I wouldn't call it great. It's not like Halloween or Friday the 13th by any means. And I like the character, something new.
Well, and then at the beginning, I was like, okay, why are we seeing this disfigured woman? And then
it comes around there.
And then it comes at the end. I'm like, why couldn't they have just did that part, saved that part for the end of the movie instead of starting off at the beginning and then going, skipping around? They could have just saved that whole disfigurement part for the end story. I don't know. It's a one-time watch for me. I don't see the appeal of it. He was more like a mime than he was a clown, to be honest.
Yeah, he didn't say a word. Makes Pennywise look like Krusty.
Yeah, Pennywise would F Art the Clown up.
Yeah. And then on the back it says, up there with Freddy, Jason, and Jigsaw. I don't know about Freddy and Jason, but I thought it was a good slasher. But it does say here that he terrorizes 3 young women on Halloween night. So yeah, I guess it was Halloween.
They must have ran out of budget for Halloween decorations because, like I said, I wouldn't even have known that was Halloween.
Well, just because it's Halloween, it's like Christmas movies. You don't always have snow. How often does it snow on Christmas?
But there's Christmas decorations, Halloween decorations.
This is a abandoned house. I mean, I get it. It's cool. I just, I like the part where he's on the bike riding around. He's trying to be creepy. The homeless lady was kind of like different.
Pointless.
I think they in Halloween. What was that? The Halloween Town or the movie that he appeared in, Art the Clown.
All Hallows Eve.
All Hallows Eve. Did they have any did they tell you how he was like formed or how he became Art the Clown?
I've never even seen those.
Okay, I don't remember them doing that.
Did you watch that?
I had something to do, so I never got back to it. So I probably should have watched that first to give it, because the backstory would be kind of cool. Because probably there might be backstory we're missing, but by going on no backstory, it was good. It was a good slasher, except for the part where they cut her from vagina to, her head. With us all, that's impossible to do. I don't know, I give it 3 blood drops out of 5, but I just don't. It wasn't a wow factor for me. It wasn't like, wow, like Halloween Kills was like, yeah, kill, wow, wow, wow. It wasn't that at all for me.
I don't know. I wouldn't even give it 3. It's just, I just think it's just a generic, basic slasher. They just made a clown out of it.
I can see why I waited so long for it, because it took me a while to realize, you know what, I need to watch that movie. I like the direction they went. I like the director's point, what he was trying to do. I like Art the Clown. I like the character. I like the guy who played him. I think they were just missing a few things. I think in Terrifier 2, hopefully they bring it around. They'll probably bring around, learn from some stuff, and kind of bring it around.
This is one of those movies that I've heard is love it or hate it type. So
I don't love it, don't hate it. It's like in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like just in the middle for me. I'd watch it again if it's on.
I wouldn't. That was enough for me.
Even with all the blood, huh? And all the gore.
I don't mind blood and gore, but when your movie has a low budget and then you're trying to emphasize on the kills and your kills already look cheap, and then you're trying to splatter more blood at it, it just even makes it look cheesier. Like,
I didn't think they looked cheap. I just think they looked like any other movie, really.
They look cheap. They look cheap. Like they were almost. There was a few that looked cartoonish. Like I was laughing. Like this is so bad. But I mean,
I'm not sure it was even low budget. I have no idea what the budget was. It was just right in the middle. It was just a movie. It was just one of those movies. Like, okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah, that
I'll watch it again. Down the road, I won't watch it right away. I might like just get a hair in my butt like towards Halloween and go, you know what? I'm gonna rewatch that again, check it out. I just think it was. Missed a few spots and was a little bit dry, but they did bring me back. When I got on my phone, there was a scene that would bring me back, which was okay. And then, so it kept my interest, because there's a lot of movies lately that I've shut my phone off and I'm on my phone and just don't even care what's on TV.
I was on my phone the whole time. I just, even when I knew that the famous kill was coming up, I was like, I kind of had my phone in my hand, was kind of glancing at my phone, just kind of looking at the TV, and I'm like, okay, because I've seen the kill count on Dead Meat for this, so I already knew that kill was coming, so I was like, okay. But
okay, my question is, when she's upside down, naked, getting ready to be slaughtered, in your mind, did you think, I'd still hit that?
I didn't even really care. It never even crossed my mind. I'm like, let's just get it over with.
Yeah, I just wish they would have Art. I wish Art would have talked. Art the Clown would have talked.
Because
that would have made it more scary for me.
Even when she's hitting him with the 2x4 and she stabs him in the eye, the leg, and he doesn't even grunt or anything. It's like, okay.
Doesn't make it, like, if he can't talk, you'd probably make a noise. I think not having him talk, I would prefer that once in a while him talking to be scarier, because that evil grin that he does, I think, but...
Or just like a laugh, like when he does that grin, he just kind of has like a Joker laugh or something, Well,
at the conventions, he does a laugh and honks the horn and all that. So I thought that was going to be in the movie, and it wasn't. So I was kind of disappointed in that. But I will watch Terrifier 2 when it comes out, and I think it'll be better than the first one. I think it's going to be more gore. I think they're going to go at it and go from there. So I don't know.
Well, you'll have to let me know how that is, because I don't care to see it.
You're going to watch it.
No, I ain't.
I also got the Cougar Curse from Beatrice, Freddie's mama, Amanda Cougar, and she asked if she sent me a message and said let her know how the book is. It's thin enough where I probably will read it. Then I'll let you read it because you're the reader of the club. And yeah. We'll see how this goes here. And check this out. She get a little, there's like a family tree thing with a glove. Just kind of cool. Might frame that. I don't know. But yeah, so it's Amanda Kruger's Perception. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Went to her Facebook page, ordered it. There's the first 100, and then I got the last one of the last 3 in the first 100. And then she got some more, and so I don't know. She's just like a nice person. I just want to meet her. Like, she seems like she's happy, just nice person. Like, when you like see a celebrity, I'm like, you know what? It'd be cool to meet that person. And she's one that I just would see. I see on social media all the time. She actually, the guy that's in charge of her, whatever, same one that is in Mark. They have the same who's that guy? I can't remember his name. We met him.
Sean Clark.
No, the little guy that was with them. It was like his manager. He was with Mark in Detroit. I was dressed up, kind of like had the Elton John kind of look going. I'm blanking out what his name is. And I don't want to look it up right now on my phone, but they have the same grouping. Like
okay.
they all like work through his organization or whatever, and so they're all like tied together because they've been going to conventions together, I believe. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm blanking out what his name is though. Let's see here. Thought I had his message on here, but I think I deleted it. But yeah, so that's pretty cool though. They're all the same, kind of tied together or whatever. I went on the list one day to see who they rep, and then it's like Mark, and then her Beatrice, and then it was like another couple from Nightmare on Elm Street, and there's some others in there. So it's pretty cool. I don't know.
Well, I know Sean Clark represents all the Scream people, so
he represents everybody.
Yeah.
When he told me he represents Jason Lively, my nose keeps running. Jesus. When he represented Jason Lively, and I told him I met him in Detroit, he's like, "Oh yeah," talking about, "Yeah, I heard this or that." I'm like, I can't comment on anything that I witnessed because we got there Sunday, so we didn't see any oddball stuff. So I don't know. But anyway, so remakes versus originals versus remakes, or remakes versus originals, however you want to put it. There's a few you haven't seen. There's a few I haven't seen. You told me you don't like Carrie at all.
I don't know if it's maybe because it's from the 70s or what it was. I watched it and I was like, okay, the best part's the end. You know, when she goes crazy.
The goat's blood?
Yeah, get the pig's blood or whatever. And go, you know,
Yeah, it was pig's blood or goat's blood. I can't remember.
One of the two. And I was like, okay. A lot of Stephen King adaptations, they're good, and some of them are crap. I'm sure Carrie is okay. It just doesn't.
I think it's because you grew up 10 years after I did. Like, I'm 10 years older than you, so I was young when that movie came out. So I think being that young, watching it was scary. Parts of it were scary. Like, look through your hands when you watch it. So the movies that were, and by the time it came out to you, it was kind of like, it's okay, because by then you had more Friday the 13th, you know, the Halloweens, and you had the other movies. You didn't have to worry about Carrie and some of these older ones. So I kind of was thinking about that the other day when you said that. That makes sense to me why it wouldn't be as big as deal with me when I was a kid. It's like when they dumped that blood on the first time, I'm like, oh, what the gross.
And then like
the supernatural power she has.
And then there's like 2 or 3 remakes of it. And then there's actually like a sequel, The Rage, Carrie 2. I remember seeing that one as a teenager, and it was like, okay. She was supposed to be like Carrie's sister or something.
I watched the recent remake not too long ago. A few weeks ago it was on. And it made me think about the remakes. I think the original's better. But I think originals are better for us. That depends who you grew up with. Okay, our friend Kevin, he's way younger, so his version of movies is different. We had the Friday 13th discussion with him. He likes all the later ones because that's what he grew up seeing. The first ones are boring to him. So I think it's just a generational gap. But I don't know. I remember watching the Psycho remake. That was terrible.
That one, if you want to watch Psycho, just watch the original one, because the remake is like shot for shot, just in color, and yeah,
version of it. And it was just like, this is it, really. I mean, it was terrible. You don't like Poltergeist either. And was that how old? Or when you Poltergeist came out, how old are you? You had to be really young.
When Poltergeist came out, I wasn't even born yet when Poltergeist came out.
God, I feel old now. I feel like old.
Poltergeist came out like a year or two before I was born.
Okay, so that's the thing. See, I was a kid watching that, so it scared the life out of me.
No, honestly, I think I've seen Poltergeist 3 before I seen the first one.
Oh, that's so bad. Poltergeist 3 is so bad.
From what I can remember of it.
It's a bad movie.
Then again, like I said, I never seen the first one, or the second one, so I was probably just basing everything up. I don't even remember much of it. I know I've seen it as a kid, but yeah.
Oh, wow, that's just... But Poltergeist scared the crap out of me because I'm not a big paranormal type person, ghosts and stuff. And as a kid, I was very scared of that crap. And Poltergeist was such a good movie. So I rented the one remake years ago when it came out. I made it through maybe not even half of it. Better graphics. Acting just ain't the same. I don't know if it's... I think I'm prejudiced because I grew up watching the first one. And those actors and actresses in the older movies, we grew up watching through other movies. Or the new ones, maybe not so much. I don't know if that's it or not, but I couldn't get into it. It was like the exact same remake. It was the exact same thing, but the acting just didn't get it for me. I'm like, okay, this is it. And I maybe lasted. If I made it past a quarter, I'd be surprised. It just wasn't. I can't remember what I did that day. I remember I watched part of the back end of it, and I just kind of just was blah. I think it just played in the background as I fucked around the house, pretty much. I don't know. It was weird. But there's so many remakes. There's just one remake that we agreed to disagree in this one. Halloween 1978 versus Rob Zombie's Halloween.
I said the 78 was better.
It is, but okay. If I had to choose, you put me in a corner and had to choose. Man, this is one version of a remake that I think they did a good job on. And the reason why I think they made a good job on is because the original was so good that it spun, obviously, generations of sequels, and everybody loves Michael Myers. Unless you're being chased by Michael Myers, I guess, then you're not loving him so much when he's trying to kill you. But it's been how many generations, and we still have another one coming up, Halloween Ends, and they're all pretty good. Not great, but I mean, they're all, for the most part, really good. It's a good series, good franchise. The remake of Rob Zombie's Halloween, I actually love that movie. I actually like watching it just as much. I think it's just as good because it was one of the first movies that took the original, stuck to the story, but made it different to where it was different, but yet still the same, which is really hard to do. We talk about this all the time. Really hard to do. I don't like the part how they made the house seem like white trash, like all the cussing and stuff. Rob Zombie's terrible at that. He's way too much of that. But I like the young kid. I like how you see the young kid, young Michael, develop. He's turning. He kills the kid in the woods. He goes from killing animals. Then the switch is flipped. The more gruesome blood and guts. And Tyler Mane, he's my favorite Michael Myers. Just that big of a guy. I mean, come on. Who else can take down Joe Grizzly? Only Tyler Mane. And every time I think of that scene, I think about have you seen the outtakes of that? Where they're actually setting up the scene and stuff? And he says, "I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch." It's just when they're actually shooting the scene and stuff. It's pretty cool. But if you put me in a box and said, "I got a gun to your head, pick one," I would pick the 78 version. I'd pick the original but I think they're both equally as good in their own right. It's one of the only movies that I would have to be forced to pick one, and I would lean to the original, but it's as good just because, God, it's so hard. It's either the same thing or they make it like Resident Evil you just talked about. They make it so different, just call it a different name and make it different at that point. Because you're not even like, you got the Resident Evil title, but you don't got anything else related to it. I don't know. I mean, I really thought it was as good. The second one, we know is junk. The Rob Zombie second one was junk. We know that.
And it really wasn't even a remake. It was just a sequel to his
own.
Halloween. Yeah. To be honest, the original Halloween, it's not even my favorite of the franchise. I know people put it number one, like it's the best. It's not my number one. And Rob Zombie's Halloween, the white trash part. I don't really need to know what his backstory on why he killed somebody.
That's about the only part that kills that movie for me is that white trash bitch, and he's eyeing the girl and stuff. And I get it, he's just a creepy old dude, but they take that part away. I think I would.
If you would have the bullying part to about where he went to school and to the end, I would have been okay with the whole stepfather white trash thing. They could have left it out.
They went overboard with it.
They went overboard with it. You didn't have to like.
He could have been mean without being so verbally stupid about it.
Yeah.
I'll skull fuck you, woman.
Yeah, that crap.
And she just puts up with it. I'm like,
so
Sherry Moon would have hit him with the frying pan at that point. Like, get out of here.
I mean, I like Rob Zombie's Halloween. I prefer the original.
So the original over it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me it's a tie. But you'd have to put a gun to my head to make me like really choose 78 because I enjoy watching the Rob Zombie version more. And it might be because I've seen the other one so many freaking times. But when the original's on, I watch it. It's one of those that are on. I stop and I'm watching it because it's just.
I know to Halloween fans, it's probably blasphemous that I don't have Halloween as number one.
What is your number one? I should know this, but Kills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Halloween 2018, I think would be.
You just like because you like the kills.
Well, and
he's so
brutal Myers. I mean, I like Halloween 4. There's other original Halloweens I like.
James Ducournau, his version, they made his version. They brought the franchise back, and they made him above Jason by far. They pushed him. So if they make Friday 13 better bring it because Halloween is by far the best franchise with the last 3 movies that they're doing. That pushed it over the edge. You even said so the other day that. Jason was your guy, but with James Ducournau's version, Michael Myers is the man right now. So they need to step up with some Friday 13th and get their shit together because they did the same Crystal Lake bullshit that they did in the remake. It's going to be the same thing. They better step it up. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I told you my version of how they're going to do it, how they should do it. And you even agree that it's not a bad idea. I told my wife that, and she's like, oh, that's not a bad idea. I'm like, well, at least it would bring it to the modern age. But do you remember the discussion we had at work about how you could bring it to modern age with, social media and stuff like that and still have the killing? So you want to discuss...
Well, hang on. Is there anything else before?
Well, there's so many remakes out there. At the Night of the Living Dead remake, which I think you're going to lean to the 1991 version.
Yeah.
Is better.
Yeah.
But it's really hard not to be better when you're comparing to a black and white, really hard to watch movie original. Because Texas Chainsaw Massacre is great. But if you took the original, not the 40th remastered version, you took the original and put it against the remake, man, it's just a hard movie to watch. Because the sound and the lighting, but the remastered version, maybe it's just because I'm getting old, dude. I don't know. My eyes just don't work the same, but the remastered version, it's so good. Have you seen the remastered version of that?
I think I would still take the remake, to be honest.
Really? It was good. Why would you take the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Because who's in it?
No, I just...
You're talking about the one with Jessica Biel?
Yes. Just because it's modern, it's newer and stuff looks better. Yeah, I would take... Actually, I think the first time I seen the original Texas Chainsaw, I thought it was boring.
Okay. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for what it is a classic because back then they didn't have a lot. Because that came out in 74.
Yep.
Okay, I was born in 74. So, in the first part where they're driving, they always had that long part where they're doing nothing. And then all the shit happens at the end. That's a lot of those older movies were. and I wasn't a big fan. I liked it, but I wasn't like, oh, great Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. The remake made it different. You do not like the screaming in it, the hour of her. Honestly, the remake, I just couldn't get into it. And I'm a big Jessica Biel fan, except for her in the Hulu series Candy that she just appeared in. I never thought you could make Jessica Biel look homely, ever. They did that in this movie, in the Candy. But it was okay. So you would go with the remake.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I've probably seen the remake first.
See, now I think that made the difference. If you watch the new one and then go back, I think that's why our younger friends can't go back to an older movie, because it is hard to watch an older movie if you have not grown up with it. Okay, I grew up with the Karate Kid. My daughter grew up with the remake of Karate Kid, Jackie Chan. She likes that one, and we always fight. I'm like, no, you got the original, Ralph Macchio. You got the original. So it's just because she grew up and watched that when she was younger. I don't know. I was surprised. I was surprised you didn't pick the original. Wow. So you didn't think we'd disagree on that?
I mean,
I'm going to have to rewatch the remake. I've only seen it. God, I haven't seen it probably since it came out. So I'll probably have to rewatch it. And that's not your favorite Texas
no.
Massacre movie.
I like the third one the best.
Yeah. I wonder how many people like the third one better.
I don't know. I mean, and it's a lot of people have it towards the bottom of their ranking, and I mean, I don't think it's the worst. That would be the fourth one that I just watched recently too. I can't believe I put myself through watching that, but
oh, the remake?
No, the Texas Chainsaw 4 with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. And
that's the one I'm thinking of that I don't like.
Yeah, that one. Oh man,
was that okay? Okay, yeah. That's the one that I was watching that I pretty much shut off. That one was couldn't get in that one at all.
I mean, I'm watching it and I'm like thinking, this is not Texas Chainsaw. Leatherface the whole time, all he did was like,
I think I shut the thing off
cry
within
and
like
scream like he was a little baby, and it was weird.
I think I shut that off within about 15 minutes.
I can't believe they even let that get made. But
I can't believe it's not butter either. So
yeah.
So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Night of the Living Dead. So we have a couple disagreements. There's a certain movie that's you're smirking already.
I told him he needs to bring his A game on this one.
You want to go ahead and say it?
Dawn of the Dead.
Yes.
We have the 1978 George Romero classic against the 2004 Zack Snyder remake. I'll let you go first.
Okay. What you just said, which one you watched first? Because I never seen the original Dawn of the Dead.
No, okay. I'll tell you this. I have seen the 2004 remake when it first came out, probably 5 or 6 times at the theater with my brother. Now, don't get me wrong. I like this movie. I'm not disagree. I don't hate it. I just prefer the 1978 original over this.
But is it better? Is the question.
In my opinion, yes.
Your opinion don't mean nothing. Did you listen to the last episode? No, I'm just teasing. Okay, the original's great. I didn't watch it. I think I watched it many years ago. I did not remember it. You let me borrow it, and I rewatched it, and I do like it. Okay, I like the characters. Okay, the remake. Oh my God, that first 10 minutes opening scene where she gets off the hospital, goes home, and then the little girl comes in and all breaks loose, and then she crashes her car and it cuts away. That was the trailer. I saw that. I rented another movie, and that trailer was on it. Okay, that little clip alone made me go, I need to watch that. That 10 minutes, because she literally came out the whole scene, crashed the car, cut, and it disappeared the title, and I'm like, I gotta watch that. And when it came out, I don't remember how many times I watched it. It was just you got Vin Rames in there. I mean, the characters in there are just so good. Man, for some reason, I think I watched it first, Well, I mean, I watched the original, but I don't remember it because it's so long ago. The original, to being up to date with the zombies and stuff, trying to figure, and they get the one asshole security guard.
CJ.
With CJ with the porn stash. And, and the guy across within the gun shop and stuff, and just them trying to communicate and everything. And then the music score that they put with it. I mean, that part they put Down to the Sickness in the slow jazz version as he's banging the chick at the camera. Down to the sickness, come on. And he's just like... But in your case, you grew up watching the original with your brother, and we've all know the story. We said it 100 times in all of our shows and podcasts and, reviews. But is it truly better than the remake? Take away your side that you grew up watching it first. You got all that makeup and gore in the original. Not the black and blue eyes,
But that's part of its charm.
Pete's a good character, though.
Like the 1978 Dawn of the Dead is like a time capsule of that era in movie making. I mean, you got the makeup hasn't it's shown its age. It's not Tom Savini's greatest work.
But that's any older movie that you watch now. I mean, it's easy now to make.
And Tom Savini himself has even said that if he had to redo it, he wouldn't have painted them blue or gray, because when they filmed it, sometimes they look blue.
Yeah.
So, reason why I think it's the best, better than the remake is...
But you're a Tom Savini fanboy,
Well,
so that's part of it. Admit it. Just admit it.
Well, that's not the whole
But
reason.
it's part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So... The remake, if you took out that 10 minutes at the beginning, it's just an action movie with zombies. They emphasize on the action way too much. And
the action is so good.
Well, and
not just that, they have to survive. They have to build those armored vehicles, and the chemistry between them all. Should we let the people in? Should we not? Should we quarantine the guy's baby?
But then when they shoot somebody, they film it like an action movie where it's in slow motion and okay, zombie baby. Not that there's nothing wrong with that. And this
have you seen a zombie baby before that?
Let's see.
I was trying to think about that the other day. Do we ever see a zombie baby?
I've seen zombie babies and other things, but I don't remember if it was before that.
I can't say if a baby, if that was a real situation, if the baby would actually be birthed or not. I don't know if that's if the blood would get in the system and totally destroy your insides. I don't think that if it kills you and you wake up as an undead, I don't think your reproductive organs would probably work.
Well,
because all they do is want to feed, but they can walk.
Well, if the baby was already there, I guess the baby would become undead and try to get its way out.
Well, they have to tear it out because it's poking. They had to rip it out of the belly.
Well, the baby could try to.
He was feeling. You can see him moving the belly, and the baby's still alive, and
Yeah.
Oh, the dad, and then he's holding it. Look, we got my baby. It looked like a Drac baby from the movie Enemy Mine. Is what it looked like.
And social commentary, because a lot of George Romero movies have social commentary, and at the time when that movie was filmed, the original malls were a new thing.
Not true.
And that's with the times. People, I can go and buy everything I wanted now. So that's why the zombies kind of represent us. Even in death, we still want material things. Because now
malls are dying.
Yeah,
now it's hard to. I mean, unless you're in a big city, like in our area, the malls are just dead.
That's why I'm surprised that the Monroeville Mall, home of Dawn of the Dead, is still around. Because you go in there and visit. It doesn't look like it's really that busy. I guess.
That's because you buy everything online.
Well, yeah, and. I just think, and probably another reason why I think the original is better is after visiting the mall where this movie was filmed, I just love it even more, I guess.
I have not been there yet. Hopefully next year. I can see that. But you grew up watching that with your brother, like you said.
Well, and then this past year when we went, they're already making more changes to the mall, and it's kind of okay, you're erasing the history of the mall. Like they were doing some construction while we were there.
Yeah, you gotta try to get people in there to buy
Yeah,
stuff.
it was just kind of like, oh, okay, that's kind of depressing. Like you're, but
Yeah, so that's our big difference. Those two movies, I like them both. And without the original, you could not have you couldn't really wouldn't have the remake. But the remake was done so well.
Now there is like multiple versions of the original Dawn of the Dead, and there's the theatrical version, which is probably the version most everybody's seen, and then there's an extended cut, and then there's a called director's cut. The director's cut actually is George Romero's preferred version is the theatrical version, but if you watch the extended cut, which I actually watched on VHS because finding it on DVD or Blu-ray is hard to find. Actually, I like the extended cut better than the theatrical version now because they add a little more scenes in there. And yeah, I just think it's better than a remake. Don't get me wrong, I love the 2004 one, but I'm just going to pick the original over it.
I knew we knew how this conversation was going to go anyway because I think if I grew up watching the original one, it'd been different. But man, that's just the opening scene got me, and the characters and Vin Rames in there just as a cop and just
Plus, I think
twitchers.
if that actually happened, that'd probably be what I would do. I'd just go to a mall.
I wouldn't go to the mall. Well, you go to the mall now because no one's there.
Yeah, I just go to South Park because no one goes there. It literally is a dead mall.
Screw that. They got no food anymore. All the food courts are gone.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, if it was like in the movie and the zombies came, they wouldn't come to that mall anymore, so we'd be all right. We could just hang out in there.
You go to Mall America or something like that. See zombies riding roller coasters, the SpongeBob plunge roller coaster, or whatever it's called up there. Whee! Oh, that would be a great movie. Oh, that'd be so much fun. They need to remake a movie and have it in Mall America. They're in the Lego land trying to build like little cars and shit. Star Wars little in the candy store or whatever. I don't know.
But then there is other remakes that are supposed to come out that, like Salem's Lot. Yeah, Salem's Lot needs a remake, because it's from the
That's an old
70s,
movie.
80s movie. It could do a modern remake. Besides, well, there is actually a remake of it already with Rob Lowe. It was a USA movie, which is okay.
Wasn't the remake supposed to come out next year?
It was supposed to come out this year, but it got pushed back to next year. And then Christine, I honestly don't think
That
Christine,
one I'm not too sure about.
That one doesn't need a remake. I mean, what are you going to do? Make it a Toyota Prius?
It's going to be Tesla.
Yeah, or a Tesla. Evil possessed Tesla.
Yeah, Christine. Man, that would be weird. Sam's Lot I could see a remake on, just because it's a good movie, but it's dated. They could updo the vampire, the creatures and stuff, and
then I don't know if I really would call this a remake, but a requel, like they call it, a reboot / sequel. Jeepers Creepers 4.
that's just a continuance then.
It has nothing to do. None of the people, the original Creeper isn't in it or nothing.
If it's a 4, it's continuance.
Well, it's not really 4. It's called Jeepers Creepers Reborn is the title.
Okay, then that's different. Yeah, then that would make it an actual reboot.
Yeah, because I even asked Jonathan.
Because I'm not a big Jeepers
Breck,
Creepers fan.
Because the guy that plays the Creeper, Jonathan Breck.
Is that the question you asked him?
Yeah, that's what I asked him. I said, "Well, how do you feel about the new Jeepers Creepers?"
Oh, that's
movie?
right.
And he said they didn't even ask him to be in it. He didn't see a script.
So that's
or
the part I
nothing.
caught. I didn't catch your question, but I caught him responding to you when we got his autograph and picture. And I remember saying that, but I didn't know what the question was directly because I was too busy yakking at someone else.
Yeah, I asked him. I said, "What
Okay.
is your thoughts on the new Jeepers Creepers?" And yeah, that's what he said was they didn't even ask him to.
They should have
return.
kept the same guy.
Yeah,
I mean, but then again, it wouldn't be new, so that it wouldn't be a remake.
I mean, I get why they're rebooting it, but
I wasn't a Jeepers Creepers fan. My ex-wife liked Jeepers Creepers, loved it. I thought it was good. It was kind of like the Terrifier for me. Kind of like, okay, it's there. I'd watch it. I wouldn't put it on, but if it's on or someone wanted to watch it, I would watch it with them. That's how I felt about Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, and then there's supposed to be a Lost Boys remake.
That has everybody in uproar because Lost Boys is. If you put a poll of vampire movies, Lost Boys is at the top. It's a fight.
Especially after seeing like some of the people that's going to be in the cast, it's like, no, just leave it alone.
Yeah. That's going to piss a lot of people off. But then again, the new generation or that haven't seen Lost Boys, like my daughters, they'll probably like it. So they'll probably think it's the greatest thing ever. So it's a generational thing. But man, it's gonna piss a lot of people off.
Yeah,
you don't mess with Lost Boys.
I don't even know when that's even coming
I
out.
piss people off when I comment that Lost Boys is not my favorite vampire movie. They're like, what? How dare you? Oh my god! I'm like, it's just one of those movies I watched and went, cool. It's more like an action vampire movie to me. Kind of like, we just talked about, some movies seem more action-y. That just seemed like more of an action, like pop, rock and roll type, vampire movie. It was good. I just don't love as much others and they think I'm crazy. But yeah, what about Hellraiser Remake coming out?
You mean because Pinhead's going to be a girl now?
No, just because it's going to be it's going to be redone. It's going to be new again. It's going to be a remake. I didn't like the fact that Pinhead was a girl because I loved Doug Bradley. Pinhead, Doug Bradley is my favorite character. But I'm kind of glad. I don't care if they make it a girl as long as it looks like Pinhead. Don't put one pin on the like a unicorn and be like, hey, it's Pinhead. Don't do that stupid shit. No. Make it Pinhead, and actually give Pinhead some power, some authority to exercise his power. Because we're going to get into our Hellraiser discussion in the next podcast or two, and man, I tell you what,
don't watch anything after part 4.
Oh man, they made him weak, and a lot of times when he could have been so badass.
Yeah, could anything after part 4 be considered a remake?
Oh, geez. So I don't know. What do you feel about a female Pinhead?
Honestly, I'm okay with it because even in the book, the way Pinhead is described, it could be a man or a woman. So, because the way it's described and how Pinhead talks, which even in the book, his name is not Pinhead, it's Lead Cenobite. Pinhead was created by the
Pinhead.
The effects artist that did the makeup called him Pinhead, and that's how it got stuck. But,
and the fans just clamor to that character.
Yeah, it's just Lead Cenobite. I'm okay with the woman as long as she does a good job, as long as she doesn't try to be Doug Bradley. I mean,
I want the same voice. I want close to the same. I want the not. I don't want her to sound like Doug. I don't want Doug Bradley to come in and dub over her body.
You want a demonic voice.
I don't want.
Yeah. I get it.
I don't want her to it looks like a Godzilla movie where she's moving her mouth and Doug Bradley's voice is coming through. I don't want that. I don't want Christy. Oh, great that they take it's like. But
yeah, I'm okay with the woman.
I'm more excited about that. Just I hope to God they give Pinhead some powers. He has so much potential, and I think they. He was deprived a lot of his powers. I think they went all those movies went so far and they're good, and then there's spots where you're going, what? Like that's why I don't think it's a lead franchise, because even though it's my favorite character, because you're like, okay, wait a minute here, you can do this, but you can't do that. We'll get into that more, but I don't know. That's any more remakes coming out. You follow this a lot more than I do. What about the rumor about the Killer Clowns remake? Was that just a rumor?
I think that's just a rumor. Well, I don't think it was a remake. I think it was going to be a sequel.
Because I would actually like to see, like with modern day technology. I think that would be a movie that would be very well with the CGI or newer graphics and stuff. I think that movie would fare very well because it's not really a great movie anyway. It's a pop, movie that everybody just kind of liked over the years. But if you watch it, it's not like, oh, that's a great movie. And if you say that, you're just crazy because it's not a great movie. Have you ever just watched it and went, this is a great movie? No, it's a cornball, cheeseball, fan movie.
But it's from the 80s. I mean...
Okay, not every 80s movie is great.
It doesn't they have to be great. It's cheesy fun.
Right, but it's not a great movie.
No.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. Some people are like, oh, it's a great movie. Okay, just because a movie's from the 80s does not mean it's great. There are a lot of movies I watch now going, oh my God, why did I like that? It's like, what was I thinking? There's a lot of bad movies out there. And we just grew up watching. So many movies were thrown at us growing up. They were like, yeah. And now I watch some of them. I'm like, no. I don't know.
That's probably one of those movies where if I watched it, because I haven't seen it in a long time, if I watched it now, it'd probably be like
It's more of a comedy,
it probably,
which it wasn't originally anyway.
yeah, it probably, I'd be
cult
like,
classic.
okay, all right, yeah, this
Like
thing-
in a Talking Heads where they talk about what it's amazing what makes a cult classic or what people consider a cult classic when the two girls are fighting over their movies being cult classics. It's cult classic. It's because it's like a song that you don't like, but you've heard it so many years and so many generations. Like I don't like Nirvana. Okay. I'm an 80s hairband nut. Okay. I hated grunge. I like some of the bands, but I never did like Nirvana regardless. But if it's on, I know the words and I sing along to it because like I've heard it so many times that it's like, okay, yeah, it's not too bad now. That's like some of those movies, you know, it's like, I don't know. But next topic, I really want to get into the Hellraiser movies. I'm hoping that Barbie responds because I really want a third party take who was actually there about some of the things that would happen in those movies. I doubt if it'll happen. Wishful thinking, crossing my fingers. As in Clerks, I should cross her nuts too. Clerks 2, he's like, just kidding.
or you mean how much is this going to cost me for her to come?
Oh man. Speaking of the picture, I'm looking over the Sleepaway Camp. Aren't they remaking that, or were they supposed to?
I don't know,
I saw a post and then it went away. Probably someone fucking around.
probably.
Don't fuck around with horror movies. Don't tease us like that.
Hollywood's running out of ideas.
They're gonna remake everything. That's so sad. Remake the good ones.
No, they need to remake the crappy ones that were crappy to begin with.
Well, if they don't remake the good ones, we can't trash them because you know they're gonna suck. I don't know. No, we don't need no remakes. I'm just teasing. We do not need remakes. Think of your own shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, until next time.
Stay bloody.